What's up, everybody? It is your boy Matty Ice here with another video, and it's not too many days I do back-to-back videos for my YouTube channel, but today I am. And if you guys saw yesterday's video, I did an unboxing of the Loot Anime Fury Jujutsu Kaisen box, which you guys should definitely check that out after you watch this video. And before I actually get into today's haul, I just want to say please like, subscribe, comment, share with your friends, and if you don't, I will find you, because I know everything. I am the all-knowing dude. But today, I actually have a little bit of a bigger haul, and it's a little bit more different, I would say, because, so typically I'm more of a manga comic guy, and today I got some books today, too. Just like some normal, everyday books. And like not like a light novel type of stuff, but just just normal books that I wanted to get. It's just so a couple of them I've read a few of these already in the past, but it's been such a long time, and I just wanted to reread it again, and I would tell the story of why I wanted to pick these ones up again, cause I thought it was pretty interesting. I'm gonna start with the books today, cause why not? And I picked up the entire Lord of the Rings and Hobbit series. So obviously there was 3 Lord of the Rings books and then 1 Hobbit book. If you guys, oh, wait, honestly I don't know what's anymore because it's like this camera's messing me up now. But seriously, I started reading The Hobbit again, and obviously I've read all 4 books in the past. But it's been a long time. I really wanted to check it out again because actually at work, me and a couple other people were talking about Lord of the Rings and how much we loved the movies and the books. And I was like, man, I really want to get the books again. And then that's when I realized I don't have the books anymore because my dad decided to throw them out a few years ago. So I was very sad. So I was like, I'm going to pick up a few of the books. And I mean, granted, these are, so I got in a box set and these are like part of the like mass-produced ones, which are a little bit cheaper. And obviously not as high as the quality as you could get somewhere else, but for the price, I can't complain. It was like $18 total for the box set for all 4 books. And you know what? For something like I've read it already a couple times. Like I've read the series a couple times, and I loved the movies. And again, it's like I call it the Godfather of fantasy. And you guys, and I'm not too sure if you guys know this or not, but I'm a huge fan of fantasy. And like I'm a big fantasy guy. I just love fantasy as a whole, and so I just wanted to get back into it and just reread the whole series and maybe even watch the movies again. Which I actually did recently watch the first 2 Hobbit movies. So the first one was called like An Unexpected Journey, and then the second one it was like the Desolation of Smaug. Which, if you guys remember, Smaug was the dragon that took over the mountain and that lived in the gold that the dwarves lived in for a while. And then the next 2 books, which I'm still waiting on the 3rd one, and it kind of makes me mad because actually, I'm waiting on the 2nd one actually still, and it kind of makes me mad because, this is another series. I've actually never read the books for these yet, but I've played the games for these, and so the games kind of follow the book decent enough, but there are some points, like I know the 2nd one, which I'm still waiting for, focuses on a different character. But that is the Metro series. So I have Metro 2033 and then Metro 2035. So I'm waiting for Metro 2034 right now. And like the Metro series, it takes place in Moscow, Russia, after there was like a nuclear war that happened, and pretty much that like most of the population got wiped out because of this. But the few who did survive the war, they all made it underground in the metros. And that's where they've been living for the past like 20 years. And over the course of the 20 years there were all these different types of creatures that popped up that are trying to kill them now. And again, as I said before, there was a video game series based off of the books, and obviously it's called Metro, and there's 3 games, and it follows the books in a way, but I heard some differences about the books and the games. Like I know the second one, it follows a completely different character that was in the very beginning of the first one. But in the games, like at least try I'm because I'm in the third one. I'm in the final one. That the character's never heard of again. Like he never so the character's never like he just assumed he died. But in the books, he comes back and he's the main character of the second book, and then returns to Artyom, who is the main character of the first one and the third one, and he's also the main character through all three Metro games. But so I enjoy the games. I'm still playing the third one. I never played the third one yet, and I know it came out a couple years ago. I just never got to it. I'm just getting to it now, but I played the first two a while ago. So I think the first one came out like 2012, 2013, and then the sequel, Last Light, came out the year after that. So there was definitely a big gap between Last Light, the second game, and then Exodus, which is the third game, which came out a couple years ago. But I really wanted to get into the series, like the book series, because I really enjoyed the games, and I'm enjoying the last one. Which there was a big twist in the third one that you find out pretty quick in the game. Like I want to say like in the first hour or two you find out this big twist about this whole universe, and I really thought it was interesting. I'm like super interested in the world and all that, so I definitely want to check out the book series because the book series is a little bit different, but it's pretty similar to the games. Like that, they're both pretty similar to each other, but obviously there's some differences between the two. And next up, I'm gonna go to the comics actually, because of course I'm a big comic guy too. And the first two, so that this is actually the same series, like the same issue, but two different colors. So Junkyard Joe. So this series, so as far as I know, I haven't gotten a chance to read it through it yet. But as far as I know, Junkyard Joe it follows this robot who, I guess is gonna fight through all these different wars to help out. And, so that's about all I know about this, and apparently each issue is gonna take place in a different war. So that's what I've heard anyways. But I really wanted to get the black and white covers for it, because at these, so I'm not sure if you can see the labels or not, but that the black and white covers, that they help, so part of the proceeds that, like part of the cost of the book will go towards, like, U.S. veterans and help them out. So that's why I wanted to buy a couple of these, and they have a lot more. And I didn't see any more at my comic shop, at my local comic shop, which I'm sure if you look online, or if I go back and look maybe a little bit deeper, or go to another comic shop, I'm sure I can find the rest of the covers. But for now, I just got the two of them. And I thought it was pretty cool, and again, I haven't gotten a chance to dive deep into it yet, so I'm definitely going to try to read the series soon. Next up is actually issue 11 of Gunslinger Spawn. Now this is, again, I've talked about this series in the past. I've been collecting it, I've been trying to stay up to date on it, which is kind of hard to do because it's like they come out every month. Like if like most comics come out monthly, so like it sometimes is tough to stay on top, especially if you're busy, and like sometimes I don't realize like when they actually come out. Like it tells you what month they come out, but sometimes I forget the date of the month. Which I really been enjoying the story so far. That's been following Gunslinger Spawn. He was just a different variation of Spawn from a different time period back, like the 1800s. He's a cowboy, So it's this overall really good series so far. I've really been enjoying it. There's some parts I'm like, I kind of wish it was over, but it's been going on throughout the entire Spawn storyline with all the different Spawns. I'm just like, okay, but I'm just tired of hearing some of this stuff. Next up, so I actually got this for free. So this is like one of those free ones I got, and that's like Dark Web, and like this is just a freebie I got, and then like it's just showing off some of the different stories that are going on in Marvel. Like not the best, but not the worst. Again, like I get it. It's just like one of those things that happen, and it's definitely not that fun. But I thought it was a decent little thing just to check through. Right. So next up, we actually have Berserker. This is the first trade paperback. Which I bought the first two issues of this a little bit ago, and I enjoyed it. And I saw that there was a trade paperback of it, which I was actually thinking about doing a review of this because I read through it. So I'm probably gonna do it anyways. So I'm gonna do a review of this on my YouTube channel soon. But all you guys need to know about this is that this is written by Keanu Reeves, like the famous actor. I'm sure a lot of you guys know who Keanu Reeves is. You know, The Matrix, John Wick. He's been in a ton of movies, and so like it's him and Matt Kind, who I'm pretty sure Matt Kind. You know, obviously there's a couple other people on here, but it follows this guy known as B, who's pretty much like a god. Like he's pretty much this god who he can never die, and he's pretty much like bound to violence, and he's a super violent guy, and he pretty much agreed to work for the U.S. government if it meant he can find a way to be mortal again, because that's all he wants to be is just mortal. So he's like, like in the comics, he says he doesn't necessarily want to die, but he just wants to know what it feels like to be mortal, because he was born in like super early on in mankind, and he remembers his birth, and you know, like he pretty much grew up super fast. Like he grew up to a man in like a few days, and again, he's pretty much a god. And again, I'm gonna do a review on this, and I'm gonna go more in depth. I'm gonna try to be spoiler free, but I am gonna go more in depth with this on the review. Next up is actually something interesting. Actually, it's actually pretty fitting for this time of year because it's about to be Halloween, and that's Spectro. So I haven't gotten a chance to read this yet either, but it's a horror anthology series that it was after Saki put this series out. And again, like, it's just one of those horror anthologies you can go through in like half an hour, 20 minutes, if that. And like, I definitely thought that, like, I looked through it already, the art looks really interesting. I like kind of that old school vibe it gives off, if that makes sense. Like, there's that vibe to it, I'm like, oh, you know, that's why I wanted to pick it up, because it looked interesting. It has that old school feel to it, and I'm definitely more into the old school stuff. And, you know, so I've been trying to get into more old school stuff, and this definitely caught my eye. Next up, and this is a series I want to get more into, it's the new Predator one that Marvel's been putting out. So I've been hearing good things so far, and that this is the new one that's came out. This is issue 3 of the Predator one. And so to my knowledge so far, this new Predator one that's been coming out, it's like this girl is trying to hunt down the Predator that killed her family. And so far she's killed, I think it was 20 predators, and she's still trying to find this predator that killed her family. And then a weird turn of events is like the predator that killed her family is also trying to track her too. So it's like this weird back and forth where they're trying to track each other. Very interesting, and I want to pick up more of that. I want to pick up the first 2 issues. This one I actually bought online, and I really liked this variation. It's the Frozen cover of Bunny Girl Mask, and this is another horror one that I really wanted to do. This is the comics of the Frozen of it, and I just really wanted to pick this one up. And this is one I still have to get into, because it is a horror series, and I want to pick up more of this and get into it more. Next up, I got Volume 4 of Something's Killing the Children, which if you saw 2 videos ago, I did a review of this one. And I really enjoyed it. This one takes more of a backstory to Erica Slaughter, so I thought it was very interesting on what they did to it. And obviously it builds more on the world, like how to get into the Slaughter, like the House of Slaughter. So it dives deep into like, the House of Slaughter and how to get in, and all that stuff. And it was very interesting. Like, it definitely built her character, gave her more of a backstory, gave Aaron more of a backstory, which again, he hasn't been in the main story. Like, he's had more comic time in like the prequel stuff, or stuff that takes place before the main story. So I think that's pretty funny, because it's like, if you guys ever read it, then you know, but like he hasn't had that much screen time. Next up is actually another horror series, and it's called These Damn Kids. And I haven't gotten to this one either, since I can't give too much of a detail because it's like I don't really know that much about it. But it definitely looks interesting with like the kids having the mask and like it kind of take over this town. So I definitely thought it looked pretty interesting and something I really wanted to get into for a while. Next up is actually the Savage Avengers. So I got the first two issues of the Savage Avengers. Now this series is a pretty new one. I think five or so issues in, give or take around 5 issues. But this series, it follows like Conan the Barbarian, follows like such a weapon 8, which is almost like Wolverine. If you guys remember, like he has like the same type of body, like almost like Wolverine. It's like Ant-Man. No. Oh wait, no. See, actually, no, that's wrong. Ant-Man isn't in this one. It's Daredevil, and then like Anti-Venom, and like a couple other smaller heroes. So definitely, like I read the first issue. I thought it was interesting. So it starts out in like the modern times, and so they're fighting a villain, and then it turns out that all of them get So it turns out that all of them get transported back in time to prehistoric era, and I'm gonna have to read this here too soon, but I thought it was really interesting, like how they brought all the characters, like how all the characters are connected to each other, and then this one's called God Killer, which I haven't gotten to this one either yet, so I'm not that good into it. I can't give that good of an explanation of it, but I looked at some of the artwork. It looks like an interesting comics read, and I'll definitely let you guys know how I enjoy that one. And then that's pretty much it with the comics for now. And so now I guess it's time to get into the manga, which you can see this big box next to me. That's where I got from Right Stuff Anime. But I have a couple manga to show you before we get into that box. And the first one is Demon Slayer. It's the stories of Water and Flame. Which I think this one's a prequel to Demon Slayer, or at least like a prequel before Tanjiro meets them. And so this is just something I wanted to get into. And I've been enjoying Demon Slayer. I really liked the movie and all that. And I just wanted to pick this one up because I really liked Rengoku in the movie, and he was great. And obviously a very sad movie. If you've seen it, it's a very sad movie. Next up is Die Dark Volume 4. Now this is like a horror, like a dark comedy, horror, adventure, action. Like there's a lot of things going on here, but obviously it's like a dark comedy first, and like you could definitely tell that because it's Kyo Hasada, who, if you don't know who this author is, that they did Dorohedoro, which is a pretty popular series that was also like a dark comedy, which I actually want to get into now because of this series, and I haven't gotten to this one yet, like into this volume yet. But so far, it's such a good series, and every time I get a new one, I'm like, oh, I just want to read it. And so I just got this one, but like I haven't gotten a chance to read this volume. But the first 3 volumes I have loved. This is absolutely a great series, and like if you like dark comedy, if you like action, if you like horror, I would totally recommend the series out because it's fantastic. It's just it's good. Again, like I haven't read Dorohedoro yet, so I can't comment on like which one's better. And again, I'm gonna have to get into Dorohedoro now, just because how much I love Die Dark. Like I know some of those volumes can be hard to get, but I'm gonna try to get into it. And then this last one before we get into the box is, so this one's called Noragami Stray God, which I never heard of this one before until I saw it. I think in like a Walmart or something like that. I saw it sitting there, and it looked really interesting. So it's about a homeless god, and like he doesn't even have a shrine or like no like worshippers. Like no one knows this god, and so he's hoping to build himself a temple through helping people with like a small little fee. and like I haven't gotten to this one yet, but this one is an omnibus, so this one covers 1 through 3 of the series, which I heard good things about it. I saw this guy saw Refusa posted a story about this, like right after I got this book. So shout out to her, and I heard good things about the series. Now on to the big boy box right now. So I just got this today. So it's a pretty decent sized box. So I just got this series today. I mean this box. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. But I just got this box today. And so with this, I was kind of in the middle. I was trying to catch up on some things that I wanted to catch up on, and then I also wanted to get some new series because I saw that there was some ones on sale that I wanted to get into, and that there was even a complete collection book in here where it gets like it just has a couple volumes that completes the whole series because it was a super short series. And don't pay attention to me, I'm using a pen to cut some of the stuff open. But so it's like, while I'm opening this, I want to know, you can put in the comment section, what manga, what books, what anime have you been getting into recently? Or TV shows, it could be anything. Because like, I'm always interested to know what people are getting into nowadays. And like also that what do you guys recommend for like a series? Because recently I've been getting into been watching a lot of Jujutsu Kaisen, Mob Psycho 100, and then Spy Family. That's like what I've been watching. I've been reading a lot of One Piece, trying to catch up for the movie, because I think the movie's coming out next week, and I have to read like I think 100 chapters to catch up on it. So I have a lot of reading to do for that. So that's gonna be my main focus for the next few days is to catch up on One Piece, and then but after that I'm gonna go hard on the Lord of the Rings series because I love that series so much. And it's like I'd say for the most part, I think Great Stuff has pretty solid shipping for the most part. Obviously, like not everything comes in perfect condition. Like stuff does happen when you ship stuff out. And I got some stuff I really enjoy, and some new stuff that I really wanted to get into. So I could say right on top, the first volume is volume 6 of How to Be a Relationship, and this is like a girl love book. So it's like a romance book that follows these two girls that are trying to make this relationship work, and it's like I just have to read volume 5. So like I know that's been out for a while, and same with this one. This one's been out for a little bit too, and I'm just picking it up now. And see, I've been liking where it's going, and yeah, for some reason I've been getting to like the more GL stuff, like the girl love stuff for some reason, and not really the BL, and yeah, so I don't know why. And so this next one is, so this is a series I wanted to get into. It's actually volume 1 of Blue Exorcist. Now, for all I know, obviously it's about like exorcisms and all that stuff, and this was on sale on Night Stuff, so I went to pick it up and try it out. Well, it's just also a Shonen Jump series, so I probably could have just read it on the app, but I didn't think that one through. And I'm probably going to do a review on that one too, on a Blue Exorcist. So definitely look out for that video too. And next up is actually a series I've been loving so much lately. It's Kaiju number 8. And this one actually got announced for an anime. And I'm not sure when it's getting an anime, but it got announced for an anime. I'm hyped. Because this is such a great series. Obviously it's a kaiju series. So I'm a huge fan of monsters and all that. So obviously that's the 4th volume. And I've been keeping up on the app, which I've been loving where it's going so far, where they're trying to test out different people with the kaiju stuff, and it's awesome. Like I think it's fantastic. Next up is My Hero Academia Vigilantes. Now this is actually done now. So there's like on the app, it's done. Like no more chapters are coming out, and there's a few more volumes coming out. I think over the course of the next couple years, I think they're coming out. Great, I enjoy it better than the main series. I wasn't a huge fan of like where the main series was going, but I really enjoyed like what that series has done over the main series. So yeah, next up is actually a big boy. So I got Volume 11 of Berserk, like the deluxe edition of Berserk. But this is my all time favorite, and I just been loving this. You know, so I just love whenever there's a new one coming out because I just love the deluxe editions of these because I think they're great and like they feel nice, they read nice, and they're big enough where like it's and obviously since I'm not sure if you guys saw or not, but that so that they're actually going to continue Berserk and it's going to be the assistants of Miura that's going to continue it. So part of me is happy and part of me is sad because I'm happy that my favorite series is going to keep going and that they're going to keep releasing stuff for it. But I'm also sad because I wanted Miura to do it, and I think but I think as long as his family says you know what that's what he would have wanted and that his family accepted that, then I'm okay with it because again it's all about his family and his legacy. I think you know like it's not about how I feel with that. Like you know as long as his family's okay with him going on with it, then I'm okay with it. Next up, this is actually an older series, and this is actually Cutie Honey. So this is the complete collection of it. And the only thing I know about the series is that it follows this girl who she's pretending to be a high school student, and but she's actually like an android. That's all I know about it. And so I know that this is the same guy that did uh was it Cry Devil or yeah. So it's like yeah. So it's like so I really want to check this one out. This is an old 70s manga. And I really want to check this out for a while now actually. And it seems like there's a little dent on it. But it's not a huge deal. You know, it's like whatever. Next up is I'm just pulling it random now. So next up is Dragon Quest: The Offensive of Dai. This is the fourth volume. Which again, this is another older one. I want to say this is like 80s and 90s. And I've been enjoying these collected editions of the series. And again, I've been trying to read these as soon as they get in the mail. And this time I'm probably not going to read it immediately. I'm probably going to wait till I catch up on One Piece and like also read a couple other things. But again, that's just a classic fantasy series that I love. Next up is Beastars number 20. Now, there's only a couple left in this series. You know, I'm just gonna wait till it finishes printing. Like, you know, like the last one comes out, and I'm just gonna binge read the whole thing because I forgot where I left off. You know, so I definitely read past season 2, I'm gonna say. But I just forget exactly where I left off. Next up is actually Volume 7 of How to Really Release. And so I think this was the last one that just came out not so long ago. So I'm gonna have to like go through 5, 6, and 7 soon of this. And then the final one for today. Now I can never get this right, but Stan to Dan. And this one just looked interesting. This one's about like so two friends that come together. Oh, and like I guess they look like UFOs and like aliens. So like it just looked interesting. It was on sale, and I'm actually also gonna do a review of the series. And that's pretty much it with my monthly haul, which I know I didn't do one for September, but I was just really busy in September doing other things, spending way too much money on other things like concerts, and I don't regret it, I guess, but yeah, so it's like I just want to say till next time, which hopefully will be soon, doing reviews, and I just want to say peace out. Please like, subscribe, comment, share with your friends. If not, I know where you live.